You know, believe it or not, sometimes the most random of goofy subjects will actually interest me pretty deeply. And I don't know why. I think it's a calling I have to find fucking horseshit. Boy, did I kind of find some. You'll have to see what you think about it as we go through it. But I have quite the presentation. It shouldn't take long to get to the actual stuff. There's some fun things at the end for those people who want to watch the whole video. But nevertheless, when we get to it, you're going to be happy you stuck around at least that long. Here we go.
A social studies teacher at a Florida middle school has been taken out of the classroom because administrators learned that she had a side job as the host of a white supremacist podcast. Sarah Seidner has the story.
Now, I may wind up being biased here, right? I've had problems with this kind of shit in the past. What I'm about to go over. It pisses me off to no end. But I've learned since then. I've grown as a person. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to handle the subjects as two different things. We're going to handle this story for the duration. I've got much to say about this story. But there's going to be one fucking part where I'm going to switch topics to a completely different subject that has nothing to do with this story that just pisses me off because it's bullshit. But I would like to state very, very early in this, I may be biased on this. She's very cute. I find her to be very cute. I don't know if I'd get along with her, whatever, but she's very cute. So there's that. She seems like she's just a fucking YouTube shithead. I kind of identify with that. So there may be some bias here, but I'm going to attempt to stay objective. About the other subject, however, there will be no bias.
25-year-old Diana Volitich had one job.
Being fucking cute as a bug's ear.
Teaching social studies to middle school students at this Florida public school. On her off time, she had another passion, sharing white supremacist ideals and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories on a public social media website, including her own podcast under the Russian pseudonym Tiana Dolokhov.
Now, I have not delved into her podcast. I looked it up. I kind of saw that she was like a guest on all sorts of shit, and a lot of people are talking about her. But I didn't really go into that. I'm disinterested as to whether or not she's a white supremacist and all that stuff. I have a different take. You're going to see that everywhere else. Everybody else is going to dig into her fucking past, try and figure out whether... fuck all that. I'm looking at a completely different angle on this one. Big surprise. We'll get into it.
So many other researchers have already looked into this, and that's just the way it is. There are races that have higher IQs than others.
Alright. Now, I didn't do a video on this. I try to avoid those sticky wickets whenever I can, right? Because, you know, it's one of those things that you look at it and you go, well, there's what they say. And there it is. I've seen the videos done, and you kind of look at the data and go, well, that's what that says, you know? And you, whatever. You either take it or leave it, but a lot of people want to leave it, and a lot of people want to take it, and a lot of people want to clash heads over it. And I kind of look at it and go, well, that's the data. What am I going to do? Point out the data and go, there's the data? Pfft, it's fucking useless. There's videos galore of that. I don't need to do that shit. I don't need to get involved. But the data's there. So it's like, what are you going to do? Is she an asshole for pointing it out? Was Rage After the Storm an asshole for pointing out race realism or whatever? Like, I mean, come on. There's the data. They're going, there's the data. That's what they're fucking saying. You take of it what you will. Whatever. I may be biased. She is adorable.
She also shared her views on Twitter under the same pseudonym, saying things like, it isn't supremacist or hateful to prefer your own people over others.
Now, it sounds bad, but that is a reply to True Canuck 1. So what was it exactly that True Canuck 1 was talking to her about? Now, recently there's been some stir kicked up by Riley about the whole, if you wouldn't have sex with a transgender person, then you're transphobic or whatever, right? Now, if it was one of those, would you have sex with a black man? And she says, no, I wouldn't have sex with a black man. I'd prefer a white man. And he says, well, that's racist. She may reply, it isn't premised or racist or hateful or whatever to fucking prefer your own people over others. You know, and it could be totally sensible, because then people will go, well, he's trying to force her to have sex with people. You know what I mean? So, it's a very individual snippet in time where we have no real actual context. It sounds bad. It just sounds like a bad tweet. That's why I try very hard to not fucking make those tweets, because...
And you know America's education system is designed to enable victimization when teachers are forced to learn about institutional racism and prove it's real when it isn't.
Now, here's where I can kind of be like, well, I can see that. That's kind of funny. Because, come on, you know, that is kind of one of the fucking things that I kind of say. It's kind of horse shit, but hey, you know, whatever. A lot of people call me a white supremacist racist too.
After the myriad of tweets and comments were first reported by the Huffington Post, the publication shared what they found with the Citrus County School District. The district has removed Volatich from the classroom pending an investigation. In a statement through an attorney, Volatich denies being racist or anti-Semitic, saying her comments online were all political satire and an attempt to get more followers.
See, she sounds like just a fucking... She's a YouTube fucking commentator, man. Like, what? I don't know. Some of them are fucking very out there with their shit. Like I said, I haven't listened to her podcast or anything like that. I'm saving that for in case I decide to fucking do another video on this. Who knows where this is going to wind up going. We'll see how the fucking deep this rabbit hole winds up going. I don't know. But so far, I'm kind of like... what?
None of the statements released about my being a white nationalist or white supremacist have any truth to them, nor are my political beliefs injected into my teaching of social studies curriculum. But she did admit at least one parent complained about her political bias in class.
Alright, here's where the tone and tenor of this video is going to change. This isn't funny to me. I don't find this humorous. This is fucking dirty pool as all shit. Like I said, I haven't listened to the fucking audio. I don't know the context. But I have ears, and I understand the tones that people use when they speak. Your tone, very much like my tone has changed, can set the tone, the feeling for what you're trying to convey with words. Tone is extremely important. It's another reason why I hate the internet, especially comment sections and whatnot like that, because you cannot judge tone. And there's been many times in the comment sections where somebody who's a friend of mine, essentially, who's been around long enough and has commented enough that I know them by name and I consider them when I make content and shit like that. Like, there's certain videos I see where I go, oh, this person would love that. Shit like that. And they'll make some snide little shitty comment to me just being goofy, and then somebody will get fucking pissed because you cannot tell the tone. You can't tell that they're being sarcastic because just what they're saying in black and white is that. So I want you to pay very close attention to the end of this clip. I want you to pay very close attention to her tone. And tell me what it says to you.
I've had a couple instances where, you know, parents were concerned. I had one at the beginning of this year who emailed the principal over my head and basically, you know, told her, I'm worried that your teacher is she's injecting political bias into her teaching. And the principal came to me and she was like, I'm not worried. Should I be worried? And I'm like, no. And she believed me and she backed off.
Now, when she says there, and she believed me and she backed off, again, don't know what was said previous to this. Don't know under the context in which she's saying this. The host of whatever show she's on may have said something like, well, you know, do you teach kind of your lean in your school? And she may have said no, but I try not to, but every once in a while maybe something will leak through because I am human. And maybe she said, well, has a parent ever complained? Yeah, one of them complained last year. And launches into the story. And she may be defending herself genuinely that she tries not to or doesn't at all. But yet, and then the principal comes up and just, yeah, she believed me, and she backed off. I don't know. It's just the tone and the way she says it, right? it matters to me. The tone and the way she says it. It sounds fairly, I don't know. Right? But listen to this. This is from ABC News. This is the ABC News clip of that same fucking clip. I've left some parts here and there in the beginning and the end so that you know I'm not fucking with it. But watch what they do.
A podcast she produced, she talks about sharing her views with her students and hiding them from parents and teachers.
Now, he's adding context here, right? That's his words. He's giving you context now. I don't like that, first of all. But that's nothing compared to this.
I had one at the beginning of this year who emailed the principal over my head and basically, you know, told her, I'm worried that your teacher is she's injecting political bias into her teaching. And the principal came to me and she was like, I'm not worried. Should I be worried? And I'm like, no. And she believed me.
The teacher tonight says she never brought those.
Sounded very different, didn't it? Let's listen to it one more time. Just those clips together.
And the principal came to me and she was like, I'm not worried. Should I be worried? And I'm like, no. And she believed me and she backed off. And the principal came to me and she was like, I'm not worried. Should I be worried? And I'm like, no. And she believed me.
Very different tone there, isn't it? What happened to that and she backed off part? They cut that a smidge early, I think. And that's what reinforces in my head the belief that there's something to the tone there that says that that could be, you know, if we cut it right here, she believed me. Boy, does that sound a lot worse. But let's just, one more fucking time.
And she believed me and she backed off. And she believed me. And she believed me and she backed off. And she believed me.
I don't know. Say what you want, but I think that's a little bit dishonest editing, and that's kind of fucking shameful, and I hope that somebody fucking catches that shit, because that's fucked up. Let's continue with the fun, please.
Another parent, Meredith Blakely, says her daughter attended Miss Volatich's class.
On a personal level, I'm outraged that people in 2018 still think this way.
Congratulations, everybody! It is 2018. It's the current year. Happy current year.
Blakely's daughter told her she remembered a comment by Volatich that made a mixed-race child in class uncomfortable.
She believes she heard a comment from the teacher where she was saying that during segregation they had separate water fountains, and the teacher somewhat alluded to that in the teacher's opinion, it would be okay if that was the way that it was today.
I honestly, I can't imagine any possible way that you could be more vague in a fucking statement in my life. Let's just listen to that one more time, because holy Christ.
She believes she heard a comment from the teacher where she was saying that during segregation they had separate water fountains, and the teacher somewhat alluded to that in the teacher's opinion, it would be okay if that was the way that it was today.
She believes that she heard that the teacher may have somewhat alluded to that she might have the opinion of. And that bitch is on the ABC one too. So she seems to be making the rounds to everybody to tell her she believes that she might have thought that maybe she heard that maybe she might think that. Boy, I don't know, man. This just fucking, the more I watch this, the more I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
But Blakely says she strongly believes in due process and the First Amendment, and that she will wait to see what happens with the investigation into the teacher before she passes judgment on whether or not that teacher should be fired.
It's actually pretty awesome that she said that. Because when what you have is that maybe somebody might have thought that they might have heard that somebody may have thought that they alluded to the fact that maybe they might think that. When that's what you kind of got to go on, you got to go, yeah, I think I'll let people investigate this that fucking know what they're talking about.
She did say, though, that this is a wake-up call to parents that they should teach their strong values in the home as well.
Let me stop you right there. No. You should be teaching your values in the home. Not as well, just fucking period. Like, school is not where you send your children to be taught fucking values. It's where you send them to be taught the basic building blocks of knowledge. It's where you send them to learn to think, not what to think. There's a big difference there. God damn it.
And she says she's teaching her daughter about inclusion and acceptance.
Good, that's good. I'm glad. Please, teach your kids about inclusion and acceptance. Don't raise them to be fucking assholes. But my God, raise them to be realistic, at least. Jesus Christ. Like, I don't know. Raise them to fucking see this kind of shit and go, what's going on here? Like, this maybe might have thought that she alluded to having the opinion of? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, come on, dude. It's all very flimsy to me. It's all shit that I've heard a whole lot of people say on YouTube. And ain't none of them been on the fucking news for it. It's the fact that she's a teacher and that this got out there and now everybody's worried that maybe she might be injecting shit into the fucking student curriculum. But, you know, this isn't the first fucking time I've seen one of these. I think, you know, hey, you know, if she's doing that shit, fine, fire her ass. Because, fuck them. All these teachers that are doing that shit, get fucking rid of them. But get rid of all of them. Because for every one of her that I see, you know, let me just play a little fucking montage. This is just some quick snippets I just grabbed. But we'll just end with this. I'm toying around with the idea of putting a nice little music bed under this. I don't know. We'll see what happens in editing. If there's music, it's because it sounds cool, and if you don't like it, I think it sounds cool. And if there isn't music, it's because it didn't fucking sound cool. So, there you go. This is what's going on with that. It all sounds kind of horseshit to me. This sounds very contrived. It sounds like a whole lot of things are being taken out of context and blown out of proportion. And in at least one case, completely fucking edited. Like, it changes the entire tone when you take that last line. And she believed me. If that's the end of the sentence, that sounds very damning. That sounds very damaging. Far more than the other. If you leave that last little part in, maybe it takes the sting off a little bit. It certainly doesn't sound good. She's discussing that at all in a parent complaint. And that's not good. Which means, that, you know, where there's smoke, there's generally fire. And like I said, if she's fucking injecting her beliefs into this shit, fire her ass. She shouldn't be teaching children. But if we're going to do that, we got to do it to them all. There's a lot of teachers that if injecting their fucking political beliefs is a firing offense, we're going to be very fucking short on teachers. Very quick. Or at least we should be. So I'll leave you with this. A nice little montage. Enjoy.
The middle school teacher removed from class, accused of leading a secret life as a white supremacist, saying some races have higher IQs than others. Here's ABC's Steve Osensami tonight.
Orange County tonight, a political firestorm over Donald Trump's election.
A college professor went off on Trump during class. It was posted online, and now there are threats of legal action and even expulsion. CBS 2 Orange County reporter states.
A father in New York City tonight is irate after a teacher injected politics into his 11-year-old daughter's homework. Vincent Ungro of Staten Island is helping his daughter with a vocabulary assignment. Seems simple enough when the wording of the questions caught his eye. One question, for instance, read, yes, President Trump speaks in a very superior and blank manner, insulting many people. He needs to be more blank so that the American people respect and admire him. Ungro told his daughter not to answer, and in response, her teacher, Adria Zawatsky, took off 15 points. What the heck?
Says how black people are oppressed, how this is just like slavery, how cops are roaming out in that there are right wing death squads gunning down people. No, there isn't. Most cop killings are justified. Most cop killings are justified. So
it's absolutely wrong. If
I'm not saying, so FBI statistics are wrong then.
No, your statistics are skewed because it's all about where you get your information from.
The FBI.
So if the FBI, but that can also be FBI. You know how much cover-ups is in the FBI? Just
yeah, for sure.
All you're doing is perpetuating your own thought process. So you're always going to get information from establishments that are some sort of seated on white supremacy. That's what
oh my God, seriously?
Me and him got called KKK, Nazi, and we just kept on getting bullied that whole day.
2 students at a Metro Atlanta elementary school say they were singled out for what they did during the Pledge of Allegiance. Now a teacher at that very same school is apologizing for her comments regarding her refusal to stand during the national anthem.
CBS 46's Natalie Rubino spoke.
People who you know over there, you freaking stupid Uncle Louie or whatever, they're not like high-level thinkers, they're not academic people, they're not intellectual people. They're the freaking lowest stuff I know.
A high school teacher in Georgia has been pulled from her classroom after comparing the Trump slogan, "Make America Great Again," to a swastika.
A college professor says he's sorry for ripping into Republicans during class. This after a student recorded Brent Terry's rant and posted it online. That student is here. But first, take a listen.
Racist, misogynist, money-grubbing people have so much power over the rest of us. And one thing is to go back, not to 1955, but to 1855. There are a lot of people out there that say that do not want black people to vote, do not want Latinos to vote, do not want old people to vote, or young people to vote. Because generally, people like you are liberal. It's absolutely possible that the Republicans will take over the Senate as well as the House. And we will live in a very, very, very different kind of country with that. I mean, colleges will start closing up if these people aren't there.
Is this kind of bias happening at schools all across the country? We go to Jason Veely.
An unusual case of bullying is getting national attention today. 15-year-old Benji Backer says he was the target of harassment, name-calling, and foul language. Not from his classmates, but from his teachers. Backer says they disagree with his conservative political views, which he's made known. And he says they didn't just pick on him, but they also attacked his family. The situation got so bad, at one point, Benji switched schools. Benji Backer joins us live now from Green.
This used to be me. A sad, sad puppy. No food in the fridge, holes in my pillowcase, and all out of... Recently, things have been going great. You all have helped me out a lot. Now I have a fridge full of takeout, new pillowcases, and let's be honest, I'm never out of... But the reason that things have changed around for me like that is because I've had a lot of pressure taken off of me for buying stuff for making videos for you guys. You guys helped me buy a new capture box when my old one broke. You helped me buy a new PC when the other one turned into poop. And you helped me get to Perfect Circle concerts so that I could share that experiences with you guys. Recently I've kind of had to change the way I do things, but I found another way. You can find me on Maker Support. I have a link in the description, and if you'd like to donate money to keep this sort of thing going, then that's where you can do it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. I hope you have fun. Bye.